Here we go, guys. Another forward focus with a bad dual clutch, as you know, we're quite familiar with.
Just throwing every single code.
Not only was it throwing every single code, but it also didn't start.
Inside's dirty, but not torn or anything. Dirt you can clean up, some tears. That's a whole other story. Nice two-tone seats. Yeah, a little bit of rust here, but it's not crazy. Here and here, but with my magic eraser, I can get that off because it's not bubbled through.
So even with the mechanical issues, it was in really good shape. We eventually got it home and it was time to try and get it started first with a TCM swap, because a bad one can keep the car from starting. Alright, now it's time to get all 4 of the bolts on this TCM. Then we had to get the broken connector off. We're going to spray some WD-40 in there and try and pry this bad boy off. Hopefully we can wiggle this one off without any issue. Our new TCM, new used TCM is our KO5. The other one was a KO5, so it should have been the newer one, but you never know. You know, systems are pointing toward the TCM. So we're going to put it in anyway. We're going to try it, and we're going to see what happens, even with the busted connector. Hopefully this all goes well. Make sure that we have both of our O-rings on. We got to grab one right down here. All right, both O-rings are on, and all the bolts are in. Time to just tighten it up. All right, so it's all put back together. The new TCM is in, got our battery, our air box back in. But now I'm trying to find the keys. And the key has now been found. Make sure everything's put back together. That's there. Oh, guys, we forgot. Forgot to connect this here. Now it's all good. Let's see if it starts. After still not starting, I decided to look further at the wiring diagram for the TCM. And, well, when it got to looking at the F38 fuse, I realized that when I was in the box, I went to go probe it, and the fuse was not there. So I put one in, and I tried to start it again.
Buddy?
Think it's a start?
I really hope so.
All right.
I've got good vibes right now.
Come over here. Let's see if the shifter lights up, because before it just wouldn't show a gear. So I guess that'll be good. Oh, now it's in park. Now it's in park. You ready?
Okay, baby. Wait, hold on. All right, let's see it. Baby! Always check fuses first, baby. Always check the easiest thing before you go to the everything. How do you feel? Happy?
Happy, yeah.
Woo, baby!
And as nice as it was to get the car started, I did realize that it needed a clutch like usual, so ours has just arrived. Pretty early. Let's see. Yeah. It is only Friday, and they said that it wouldn't be here till Wednesday, so I was kind of freaking out, thinking it would take that long to get this car together and sold. First thing I have to do to get this transmission out is getting this air box out along with the battery. So this doesn't take too long, not bad at all. I've done it so many times. Got my pry bar. We're simply just going to pry that. All right, and we got it off just like that. And now we're going to have to get these two 10 millimeters. So the 2 bolts that we're holding in the bracket for the shift cable, they're 2 different sizes. Obviously it's not from factory. Someone must have replaced it with another one that was close, but I guess it worked. So then what we want to do is we're just going to take this out. We're just going to slide that through. Cool. Next, we're gonna get there we go. Next up, we got a few bell housing bolts to take care of. One there, one in the middle, one towards the back, and then a couple on the bottom. But for now, we're just gonna take care of the 3 on the top. All right, we got a lot of stuff done on the top, and yeah, guys, I think we're gonna do pretty good on time-wise. As long as these lug nuts come off, I think we'll do pretty good. So next what I did was I just went ahead disconnected these connectors to the TCM. You actually only have to undo the top one, but the clip broke on the top, so to be able to get it off without that clip, it was easier if I just undid this one too. We get started on the bottom here. We don't have to undo the actuator, that's okay. But actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and start draining this oil, which is right here. All right, I went ahead and broke it, and this is a T45 here. Hopefully it makes it in the drain. Perfect. Usually doesn't make it in there. Next, go ahead and get these studs off for the starter. I'm gonna take it out, kind of wiggle it out. Then we want to push it to the side over there, tuck it in a little bit. Probably do it from up there. Just want to get out of the way. I'll go ahead and take this grommet out. And as I've mentioned in other videos, these lug nuts do tend to swell. They're 19 millimeter. But what you can try to do is when they get too big for a 19 millimeter, what I do is I'll just take a hammer and pound it on. But then you got to sit there and pry it out. Or if you do mess it up, like I did mess one up, the foil casing on the outside gets mangled, but eventually that can be chiseled off. And underneath, you can actually just take an 18 millimeter and screw it off that way. So either 19 with that casing on it, or you know, rip the casing off and you get an 18 millimeter on it. Either way, you can get this off. And I always recommend getting new lug nuts. Every time I do this, I put new lug nuts on, so it's easier on the process of putting it back together. And this wheel at least came off pretty easy. So we're gonna go ahead and put this to the side. I finally got this bottom ball joint out. Guys, I invested in this long pry bar. It was only 30 bucks at Harbor Freight. It wasn't bad, but it helps out a lot. And so does this to get it started. So I hammered this in to start separating the ball joint, and then when I push it all the way in and pull it out, it gives me some space. Then I put the pry bar in, and then I can hop on the end of it, start jumping up and down, and eventually it comes out. Let's get this wheel off. Second ball joint is out. About 10 minutes later, that one wasn't too bad. The other one was way worse. We just gotta pull the axle out of transmission. The axle is actually gonna stay inside of this hub here. We don't take it out. This is a 13. We go ahead and break this. As you can see, they're coming undone. That's gonna be your carrier bearing. Now that we got our bolts off, we can pull this out. And then what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna want to take our hammer and we're just gonna hit this out of the sleeve here. All right, that's good. And then we gotta get the clutch nuts, which I think I just got the last one down in there, right where the starter access is. Let's see, I think I got the last one. Guys, and don't worry, if you do drop these in there while taking them out, it's not a big deal. You'll find it when you take the transmission out. The problem is when you're putting it in, if you drop it in there, you're gonna take the transmission back out, and don't ask me how I know. And we got one bolt left back here. We can kind of already start seeing it separate. And here, we're just gonna use a simple ratchet strap. And our last bolt is right there. That's just our last transmission mount, and then we'll be able to drop it. Then this just comes up here. Oh, we gotta get this thing off. It is time to start dropping this. We are ready to go. All right, so we're just gonna have to periodically check, make sure that everything's all good. But we should be in a pretty good shape. Make sure we're good. Okay. Looks good down here. And once we got the transmission out, it's time to get the clutch out. And you see it's gonna start popping up. It's close. And clutch is out. Very nice. It actually doesn't look too bad in here. I mean, this clutch looks pretty good. I'm not sure what happened with that fork. Huh. So, next day, we got to clean this out. It's not too bad. I brought out my little shop vac. We're going to blow all this crap out, and then we're going to take some brake cleaner and wipe it down. This one won't be too bad. But I am going to mask up because I don't want to breathe this crap in. Here's what we got left. It definitely looks a lot better. Now we're going to go ahead and take some brake cleaner. Just start wiping it down. And what you want to make sure is these tracks here are looking good. Oh man, these are buttery smooth. Sometimes I have to sand these down, but no, these will be all right. Butter. So I'll go ahead and finish cleaning this up, and then we'll continue. Yeah, it does look a lot better. I like to take my time with this. It only takes me about 15-20 minutes to really do a good job. Here's our forks. As you've seen before me unboxing this stuff, we have an A and a B fork. The A fork is going to have the bigger mouth. These are the springs here. And this fork is going to sit right here at 3 o'clock. This is the smaller of the forks. It's going to sit right on these dowel rods right there, or this dowel rod right here. So make sure that's in there. There was one time I saw that not in there. All right, it's going to sit just like that. Springs are going to go right here. And that's what it looks like with our first shift fork in. We're now going to go for our A shift fork, which is obviously, like I said, the bigger one. All right, and one thing that you do want to do, make sure that the number here, this 240-613-2305, does match up on your springs here. Let's see. 2305 and 2305. So we're all set there. And now don't forget, when you get these in, make sure that these clips are taken off. The shipping clips, they call them, I guess. Yeah, if you leave these in, your car is not going to shift. So 1 and 2. All right, then we're going to stick these actuators in. Just like this. Make sure you remember where they're oriented. The bottom one, the plug is on the left side, and it sits horizontally. This one, let's see here. All right, I gotta help myself. I take the forks back out because I did forget. Where did it go? Forgot to put this sleeve in. So this goes only one way. Perfect. Okay, everything's torqued down. Next, we need to put some grease on the tips and around here. And then we're gonna put our new $200 sleeve in. We're gonna grease the tips, as you can see right there. Just a little bit. And this guy falls in one way. Just like that. Perfect. Now, we're going to take these washers and make sure these are centered. Okay, and then this one. Perfect. And here is our brand new clutch. All you gotta do is pop this ring out with this snap ring, and then we'll replace it in there, pop it in all the way, seat it securely, and then get on with the rest of it. And I think we can fit a snap ring on there. Our clutch is all assembled. You can hear it sounds smooth. We're all good. And guys, here she is. She's up and running. As you can hear, she sounds great. Yeah, she sounds really good. So we do have her running. We gotta do a shift adaptive relearn, or clutch adaptive relearn, and then we gotta figure out the O2 sensor issue. And then headlight bulb, and we should be good. Thanks for watching, and make sure that if you like this, you subscribe so you can see more of our Ford Focus repair videos. And if you have a Ford Focus with a bad transmission, such as the one behind me, and you're trying to sell, let us know. We're always buying. Just leave a comment below.